soon as it starts, then I'm gonna be ready. You can see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
As a former T. Rowe Price
As soon as it
analyst with
starts, then I'm gonna
experience on the
be
trade
ready.
desk floor, I'm now a best-selling author and a full-time options trader. Through my online trading community, my mission is to empower people of all different backgrounds with the knowledge and skills needed to achieve financial freedom. In particular, I'm passionate about teaching inner city youth about financial literacy and helping them build a strong foundation for their future success. Join me on this journey as we transform lives through financial education.
Come on. So how you feeling today? How you
Oh
feeling
man.
today? Let's go ahead and just hop right into it. We got a lot to cover. First and foremost, by watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. This session is solely for educational purposes. There's significant financial risk associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Let's go. So look, last week, interesting how the sectors ended. We had real estate ending. This is on Friday. Friday, real estate ended with the highest call volume, followed by energy, utilities, and financials. Technologies got creamed. Fucking consumer staples. This is interesting though, because you would think that consumer staples would have been up here with them, but Costco had a mixed earnings, and that was probably the reasons for that. Consumer discretionary healthcare. So yeah, we got that. Communication services, interesting where it is. So it's red, but it's like right there on the cusp of being green. Now, the week before, technology surged by it, followed by energy, healthcare, and then we had utilities, financials, and consumer staples down here. Okay, this is all the stock. This is pretty much the sector performance. Now, Friday, in terms of options, call options flow, Nvidia, they were pouring a lot into Nvidia. But remember, Nvidia sold off on Thursday and Friday. And so, well, really Friday. And so, a lot of people are buying the dip on Nvidia. Anything they're looking for it as a dip buying opportunity. So this is call options flow on Friday, followed by CMI Square. We're gonna have to take a look at Square just to see what was going on. MSTR, AMD. Okay, ARM. They got CRM on there. On the put side, we had Tesla, Apple, TSM, Coin, and Gold. This makes sense because TSM was surging last week, surging. Now, as far as for the week goes, we had Nvidia, so more Nvidia, Amazon, AMD, Coin, and um uh BKNG. I don't know why I thought that was DraftKings for a while. I read that as DraftKings. It's crazy. And XLF, we're gonna pay attention to that because I saw financial sector was one of the top performing sectors on Friday. On the put side, we had Apple, Tesla, Snow, Google, and Meta. Now let's just take a closer look at things. Now remember, I'm actually going to start off. I'm going to make a note of this just to look at make a note to look at Square. Are you there, KK?
Yes, I am. I already had it in my note.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to make a note here. SQ. Uh, okay, we're going to make this quick tonight. Amazon, AMD. Oh yeah, AMD is definitely one to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Meta, of course, Netflix. All right, cool. Let's go. I ain't gonna, we're not hitting earnings today. So if you're listening for earnings, then you're not gonna get any.
Mm. Whoop, whoop.
All right. Okay. So lessons learned and recap. Do you have any lessons learned or recap that you'd like to discuss?
Had a phenomenal week. Um, and I will talk about my lesson learned first.
Okay.
Even though that was actually at the very end of the week, but I had a great week
Okay.
overall. But my lesson learned was just remembering when you call those extra day expiries. So if we're playing like for example QQQ, although I did not lose any money on either side because I made money on the call side, I could have made a lot more money on the put side, but I had set my I set the limit order to sell to what you call it at break even because I was following AMD like I was up. I was following that call side, and I really should have focused on okay, he called that for Monday, so let that breathe,
Let's
chill.
talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? So I that would be something like that I definitely need to remember next round. I mean, and I've followed through with it a few times, but it's just making sure that you don't make those little mistakes to just be able to maximize the profit. That's all. So that would be my lesson learned for the week. Um, and I definitely put that in my trading journal too, like start it.
Yeah,
because
no,
I
that's
just
good.
because I was like, damn, yo, I would have blew things out the water this week. I would have felt real good about this week. I mean, even though
I
it
mean,
was
you
it,
crushed this week. I mean, I want you to talk
but
about your
still,
lessons. I love that you're
oh
talking about
man,
this. I love that you're talking about this. Like I was very hands off this week because of the fact that we had so much going
right,
on the earnings tip.
right,
So it was no
right.
reason to over trade, like for it's a few reasons, but I want to hear more. I want you to talk more about your situation than me to
Oh
kind
man.
of talk about
Well,
mine.
first things first, like I said in the group, for people who are in our group, they know I said the tip jaw hit different. Those plays hit different. So I was in like three of them this week. We had Target, we had Foot Locker, and we had AMD. Target, like, I mean, Target hit the targets, period. Like, but I love what I'm able to do now, really understanding to read these charts, following the strategy that you gave me and my one-on-ones and just really sticking with it. And it's proven to make me a lot of money. Um Target, things people people are looking for everything to take right off. And sometimes it's not going to take right off. Sometimes you gotta be able to sit down and really understand what this chart is doing and say, okay, I see this, I see this, I see this. So, me just not giving away anything, but basically Target went crazy,
Right.
made a lot of money on Target.
Yeah. It was a
Foot
big
Locker,
play.
oh my God. Foot
Foot Locker was a
Locker,
big one.
goodness. Foot Locker chart was amazing. And we, you gave me the play, hit me in the DM like, yo, I need you to get into this. Here go the strikes. This is what I believe is gonna happen. We strangle earnings around here. We're gonna play a strangle. Um, but I'm never really concerned about the strangle because we know that if it hits on the side if it hits on either side, it's gonna eat the other side and make you'll still make a lot of money. Foot Locker had a huge gap as well as broke a major level. And I just rolled that thing to the bottom. Sheesh. Like I was up like 300%. Like, yeah, let's go. And I'm looking like, okay, we are more than halfway through this gap. And there's nothing stopping it right now. There's no volume. There's nothing stopping this from going to the bottom. So I
Mm.
just stayed in a trade. And yeah, that one bang. I think I said I went from $122 to $700 on that play.
Yeah, no, that was
So
a
that
big
was
trade.
crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. And basically it did everything it was supposed to do. AMD. Oh my God. Like,
Ooh, that was a
oh
chart.
my goodness.
That was
That was a chart. That was crazy. And that was one of those, look, be easy in the morning, and you walked everybody through that trade as well. Like people who was looking in the chat or whatever, like you was like, yo, chill, like don't get all crazy and start selling in the morning. Like, give it time. And man, we was in 215s. What, it went to 227?
227,
Like,
30.
man, I mean, you know, but it was a great week. Like I said, I only gave y'all three. I only said 3 plays. I made 1,500 in those 3 plays. So shout out to you for always keeping us in some good stuff. And I just tell anybody, just follow that price action. You gotta get those lessons though. You gotta get those lessons, and you gotta stick with those strategies. But yeah, I had a phenomenal week. Great week.
Right. No, that was a great trade. That was a great trade. I'm glad. But first of all, I want to give shout out to you because I know we're doing this lessons learned recap, but shout out to you. Shout out to Daquan because at the end of the day, it's about trusting the process and locking in and paying attention and just and showing appreciation too. Because,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I need that extra push too. Sometimes I'm not
Right.
feeling how I need to feel that day. And getting that dedication from y'all and that appreciation from y'all just kind of makes me go even harder. So it would have if I was planning on playing AMD anyway.
Right.
Now, if I had played AMD and didn't put the team in it, I would have regretted it. You know what I'm saying? So just to
Right.
see, what was disappointing is to see that it wasn't as many team members in AMD as it should have been.
Right.
I was a little disappointed about that. I mean, but I do have my reservations about it. I feel like there were a lot of people in the trade that aren't going to
Mm-hmm.
admit that they were in the trade. Now, listen, whether they post their contracts or not, I'm going to think what I want to think anyway. So you might as well post your contract and get credit for it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it's not about anything else. I'm just saying. But if you weren't in that trade, if you were in that trade and you held through the trenches and you actually shot the general, you should post that contract so you can get credit for it. Because what's worse than pretending that you weren't in the trade is what I think.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you were really in that trade, and I'm like, damn, this dude ain't even no sniper like I thought he was. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, was Wayne might have sold early, although I said not to sold because he got that tendency of being a kind of a scared trader, timid trader.
Right.
So if he did that, you know, then I wouldn't be disappointed because that's what he does. But if he actually held and was in there with me when I was dictating price, I'm gonna respect that 10 times more. So if you were in that trade and it's best to post that contract, I mean, forget about everything else because I'm gonna think what I think regardless. Because it was like a good 12 of us on Zoom. So I know StratOps was in the trade. I know Mogul was in the
Right.
trade. I know that Roman was in the trade. I know these people were in the trade. And so I don't know where y'all got out at. And then like the whole Kwame getting out early, I'm gonna have to talk to him about that because I really don't. I'm like, I didn't train him that way. I didn't train him to run away from price action and to be afraid of trading that stock, into the move like that. Because I told y'all exactly where price was going. We had the 215 calls, and once once those calls went into money, we knew it was going to 220.
Right.
It was a given. It was
Well,
going to
that was what
220.
I made my
And
target
then
based on that.
right. And I'm saying, and then basically after we broke through 220, I told the team it was going to 225. I got out at 223 because I like to sell in strength. And there's this 80-20 rule that I like to use. I'm like 80% of something is better than 20% of, you know what I mean? I just can't even. I got 80% on this trade. Now we were up several 100% on this trade.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, yeah, look. So it's about where you are in this community and where you really want to be. Now, let's speaking of AMD, I'm gonna kind of segue into this. So AMD kind of closed at a nice level. Where it closed at on Friday. Interesting place. It could bounce here if the market bounces. I don't know what the future's doing right now because I'm not looking at them at this moment, but everything gapped up from what I saw at 8 p.m. And but yeah, but I like where I'm saying QQQ. I like where AMD is right now. And although we got this inverse hammer on the weekly, price still ran up and it held up in here. It held up in this area. So let's just see if it bounces here. This would be a nice area to bounce, in my opinion. I like this area here for AMD to bounce. So let's just see what happens here. Now, you know, I don't really like stocks in the all-time highs, but we got that pullback and we see exactly where the stock wants to go. Let's go to Meta. Hit Meta off the break. Meta, Meta, Meta. Now, excuse my levels on Meta because just excuse my levels on Meta. But look, this is the Meta daily chart. And now we got a 222 continuation on this chart. That's all that matters here. It's not enforced, but we got a 222 continuation. The stock pulled back with the market. There was a lot of stress in the market, but we pulled back. It bounced off the 9 EMA and kind of went back up here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that there's a possibility, if depending on what the market does tomorrow, we can get a nice pullback back down here. I mean, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with all of that. We got a big week up ahead of us that we are going to get to. I'm not going to go into too many details right now. We're going to get to that in a moment. But we have a really big week, and there are a lot of opportunities for the market to do what needs to be done, right? So, but yeah, I like Meta. I like this pullback. As long as Meta holds this 9 EMA right here. And again, I'm using the 9 EMA because you have to look at the structure. You have to look at the structure, but at the same time, and yeah, we do got a rising wedge here, but we broke out of that rising wedge. Price broke out of the rising wedge. Price broke out of that rising wedge. And you see here, you can see where price broke out of the rising wedge here. So we got action, and then it came back and retested the breakout area. I love when a stock retests the breakout area of a rising wedge or whatever the wedge is, you know, came out, retested the breakout area here. I love that. So we still got action for Meta to make another move. So let's see what the price does. And, you know, we got that TikTok news, and Biden said, oh yeah, if it comes across his desk, he's going to sign the TikTok bill to ban it, right? I don't get the whole concept of it. I don't want to go into too many details. Speaking of that deal, we're going to talk about Snap next because we have to kind of keep the momentum going and what's going on. But I love this pullback for Meta, and I'm looking for a continuation here. Look at this volume on the weekly. This is an interesting chart, very interesting chart. And I like where we close. So keep Meta on watch. I really like Meta. I think we go back up into 425. Let's just see what not back up into 425, but I think we go back up into 420 if we get a bounce and move up higher. So let's just see what happens and keep Meta on watch. Let me go over to Snapchat. Look at this move on Snapchat. Snapchat be moving silently and people don't really be paying attention to it, but the weekly tells a story. Look at this weekly chart. We got this reversal. I would love to get a move up here, though. Get us back over 13. Get us back over 13, and then we really got action. But here we go. We got a 222 continuation, you know, on Snapchat, and it closed with this. Look at the volume. Look at this. Look at how it closed, and look at the strength. Here, it looked like it wants this 20, I'm sorry, the 50 EMA. Look like it wants the 50 EMA. We get into that 50 EMA, then we can start to fill this gap. I mean, we already filling a gap. So just let's be clear. That's a huge gap that price is already filling at this moment. Huge gap here. So, you know, we just got to let the price do what it does. And it's already starting to move, and price is stacking over these EMAs. We already got the 9 EMA about to cross above the 21 EMA. We got the MACD line crossed above the signal line. And you see all of this. Hold on. I see people coming in here to get on the damn meeting with us live. I see J-Rock. I see Peter.
What's up, J-Rock?
I see J-Rock. I see Peter.
Man, what? I saw the YouTube notification. I was like, oh, snap, here we go.
Yeah, you knew we were coming. I told y'all I was coming. I wasn't gonna leave y'all hanging tonight, man. But yeah, so we got price movement here, and I didn't even see how long were y'all waiting? Were y'all waiting there for a while?
Nah, as soon as I saw the YouTube notification, I was like, all right, yeah, I gotta get on.
So y'all were waiting for a while or no?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool. All right. But yeah, so we got this gap fill area and it's already starting to fill it. I like when prices stacked above EMAs like this. I love these green oscillator bars. We got to keep an eye on Snap. Just simple as that. This is very, that news about TikTok is very bullish for Snap. So let's just keep it on watch. And again, I want us back over 13 and then we got action. So let's keep Snap on watch because we got a few levels we can hit, but this gap fill is just if let's get over to 50 and then we can talk about filling this gap. You know, one traffic light at a time, but Snap is something to keep on watch. I want to look at SQ because a lot of flow went into there and this chart looks great, man. Look, we got to stop ignoring certain stocks. Now look at SQ on the weekly. Yeah, look, we do got some divergence here because the volume is decreasing, but we got the prices on the move. But look, the price isn't as high as it was before. We got a 213. We got a 213. Actually, that's a 313. Sheesh, that's a 313 here. We got a 313 with a hammer, with a double hammer. So let's pay attention to this though, because look at how this price closed on the daily as well. That was the weekly chart. Look at the daily here, and then look at this. Look at the move. Because you remember, I already had this wedge lined up here. You know, so we got some levels that we can actually hit here on Snap. And I love the way MACD it was in play for several weeks. You know what I mean? And we were paying attention to it. You know, I played the earnings and the week after, but this is something we need to keep on watch because it's in play. We need to watch it. So Snap, there's a lot of places that it can. I'm sorry, SQ. There's a lot of places where it can go. The stock is it looks great. It looks great. I think we can get back up to 85. Like 85 is the next target that I have that I'm really looking forward to. We can break out if we get over 83, we're going to 85. But let's just look at it like this. Over 81, 85, and then we can move into I'm just going to say 85 because 83, 29, and then 85. But 85 would be my target. That would be my target for Snap. I'm sorry, block. Keep saying that. But yeah, nice chart. I love the way it looks. Crazy move, breakout. It after the breakout. Matter of fact, let's just look at this a little bit because I know everybody's not really paying attention. But look at this. After we got the breakout here on earnings, we got the candle confirmation. We came back and we retested the breakout area, closed above the breakout area. Then we retested the 9 EMA, and then we closed with a hammer. So we got a nice price move here. And like I said, a 313 move. So I like this. I really like it. Volume decreasing, but at the same time, price hasn't taken out this level here, but it looked like it wants to make that move. And it's a lot of price to make up. So let's keep this one on watch. Let's keep it on watch. All right. Let me go over here to Netflix. Netflix. Sheesh. Nice chart on Netflix. Okay. Netflix been silently making a lot of moves. Where the hell is Pinga when you need her? Come on, let's go. So yeah, so we got Netflix moving right here. And so we got a 222 continuation on Netflix. It's not enforced on the weekly, but here we go. Look at this move here. We got a breakout. We got a wedge breakout on the weekly. A nice bounce off the 9 EMA right here. I really like this. So I feel like there's a gap fill area right there, but forget the gap fill because if we take out the 616.10 price level, then we can go ahead and make a move back up to 624, you know, and then so on. So let's keep that on watch. And again, there's a few levels that Netflix can actually extend to. Now, here you go. There's the high here. It's almost up into the all-time high. Remember, there's not too many stocks that haven't taken out their all-time highs yet. And Netflix is one of them ones because of everything that's been going on. So we got a nice move, a nice price move that it can make here. And the stock has been moving diligently into that area. You see how we get the breakout, we get the retest, and then we get the continuation. So I really like Netflix. I really like the price action on this, and I really like the breakout here on this wedge. So let's keep Netflix on watch. How y'all feeling about Netflix right now?
It's definitely going for those all-time highs. Everything wants it right now.
It wants that all-time high. So we need to keep that on watch. Keep Netflix on watch. Watch it moves into that 650 area. Watch it move into that 650. If you take out that 624 is going into 650. But you know, I told you where I marked the next level, but 650 obviously would be an easy level to to take out in that regard. Let's look at Microsoft really quickly because Microsoft been playing. It's been silently moving. We got that bull flag breakout. I love the consolidation on the weekly here. I love the retest, and I really, really love this setup here on the stock. Now, Microsoft has been chilling lately because it's been all about Nvidia, and Microsoft is still a big play in the AI space. We got this beautiful bull flag set up here on the daily, and I'm just looking for a price move here for Microsoft. We really need to make this move. Now we got a 222 but this would be another 2-2. That was a 2-2 reversal. We got a 2-2 continuation right here on Netflix. So I'm sorry, Netflix. I'm calling it Netflix, Microsoft. But I like the way price is. This is our 50 EMA right here. And although we lost this level here, price is still in this range. And I really, really like, and we got a nice key level up in this area too. So and it closed right there at a key level. So let's just keep this one on watch. I think we get a continuation move higher from this one because again, remember we were looking for a move. So at this point, you can play this two ways. You can play it off a bounce. If it bounced from where it is right now, then the first price target would be 410, 410. Let's just call it 410. If we take out the 410.42 price level, then the second price target would be the 415.32 and then 420. So this is nicely set up. Now, if it loses this key level here, if it loses, in my opinion, I don't care about the lows. If it loses 410.40, then we get a move down here to the there's a gap fill area here. There's a gap fill area here at 402.97, and then you move down here to the 50-day EMA. So nice setup on Microsoft, and Microsoft been chilling lately, but we need some momentum to come up in here, and then we can trade Microsoft. But I love a bull flag setup, and price is still trading in this range here. So let's just let price do what it does, and then we can we can play it accordingly. Simple as that. So we can play it accordingly. And so let me move on to Google, because Google was holding its 200-day EMA, but Google, and look at this setup on Google real quick, and look how Google bounced off this 50 on the weekly, But look, check this out. Let me go to my 200 really quickly because prices, it lost all of its major EMAs here. So I'm just going to go over here to the 9, just temporarily, and I'm going to switch this over to I'm going to switch it over to the I'm gonna switch it over to the 200. Just give me a second. 200, 200, 200. And I'm not going to change the color because I'm changing it right back. So you see this price, you see how price bounced off this 200 EMA, and we got that move up in here right now, and we got higher volume coming in. We're looking for this momentum shift. We got the MACD line about trying to cross over the signal line. So we got a little price movement right here, but we got the volume that came in. I really like the way it did on the weekly though. I'm liking the weekly, and it's still holding this range here. Although we got the pullback, the structure is still very much intact. I love this wedge here though. So let's keep Google on watch. Google's been chilling because Gemini hasn't been what they thought it was going to be. But during this market stress test, it's stocks like this that have been struggling that you kind of get some strength from. So let's keep this one on watch. I feel like, and again, like we can easily play this so many ways. I personally feel like outside, if we can break out of break above, I'm gonna say break above 39.59. I'm not touching Google until it breaks around. Let's say 140. It breaks 140, then we got a nice move up into this gap fill area here. Let me just mark it really quickly because I like to play the bigger moves. There's no point in playing something just for the hell of playing it. We break out of that, we get out of this wedge, then we can go up here and we can fill this gap here. This gap area is up here in, what is that? The 143.67 area. We break through there. So that would be my target. So let's break 140 first, because otherwise there's no point in playing the upside. I mean, you can play off a bounce because this is an area here. You can play this area here, close right here at a level. It closed right here at a level. So if it breaks this level, I mean, obviously there's another move you can play here. If it bounce off that, you can play this move here up into this area. But honestly, I like the big move. You know me, I like the big move. Sorry, that's the wrong place. Right up in there. So you get that move. I'm like that break. I mean, that's a cool move. That's a cool move. Google stock don't have to move much to make money. The contracts are cheap. But yeah, you can play that bounce off of that area here. I mean, and you can play it into there and you can play it up to the 21 EMA. Now, I got this 200 here. I'm gonna change this back to my 9 because yeah, that's what it need to be. But I wanted to show y'all that 200 for Google because that's a nice I like when you see a stock like that um catching some support, especially when the stock pulled back like that. So yeah, keep that on watch. It closed it. It rejected the 9 here, but let's just look for some strength and Google. It's about time, right? So let's just keep that one on watch. Now let's move over to Apple. Apple. Interesting chart on Apple for the weekly. But before I get into that, let's look at this daily chart, man. Apple. Sheesh. So you see us holding this area here. I got a level here that it's been holding. And you see us been using it as a good support because it came down here and it bounced a few days in a row at this area. And we got a price move up a little bit. So let's just see what Apple does. Honestly, I just feel like I need to see more from Apple. I like the volume that came in and it saved it here. Let's see if we can get a move. There's the 9 EMA here. I really don't have much to say about Apple, but I feel like if we can, if we, shit. Yeah, Apple is a gap fill area here. It's an ugly chart. I don't really like the chart very much. Simple as that. I'm not looking to play this chart too much for on Apple. But I feel like this could be a good area where it could bounce. If you look at the weekly chart here, this could be a good area of resistance, but at the same time, it just looked like there's some more downside that can possibly be in this stock. So I need a, every chart tells a story. I need a setup. It looks like it wants to go lower, but especially from this weekly. Let's see what the monthly looks like. I know that I just want to see because I don't have sometimes you need to just zoom out to get a little bit more clarity. Oh yeah, it's right here at a key level area. So I mean it could bounce right here. Let's just see if it does bounce. I mean, Apple has been selling off for so long. We got to get some sort of support on it. And this is an indication right here after what happened on Friday. So speaking of Friday, let's go over to QQQ just to see what's going on here. Now, look, so QQ now, remember you got to give it some margin. You got to give it some margin. So I'm giving it some margin here. We lost this level in my opinion, but we got to give it some margin. Give it a little margin. Maybe it bounces here on the daily chart. I mean, on the weekly chart, it's an interesting chart. We got this rising wedge right here. I mean, but it's also a channel. It's more of a channel than a rising wedge. I see this as a channel. You see this as a channel or a rising wedge?
A channel.
Yeah, it looked like a channel to me. I mean, J Rock, what you doing on here for if you ain't got nothing to say? Peter, you too, man. Y'all just on here. Y'all don't got nothing to say. I should
Yeah,
let y'all on here.
it looks more like a channel to me. A rising wedge, I think, would look a little sharper than that.
Yeah, no, it is a channel. I'm just talking smack, I ain't you don't pay me too much mind, man. J Rock ain't make no money last week, so I see why he quiet. But you know, yeah. But you see, we do got a channel here. We do got a channel here. We got a nice price channel on QQQ. Now, I do feel like it's a possibility. Like I said, I always like to give these levels some margin. You got to give it some margin. It could bounce here, or we could get a move down. So let's keep this on watch because again, they sold off Nvidia and everything else followed. So yeah, but I like this channel. So if it did lose this level, what'll likely happen is we get a nice pullback, then we get a retest of this 9 EMA right here, and then we get a flush down here to 435 and then down to 430. But remember, we have a big week ahead of us. Now I'm gonna hit SPY quickly. And then we're going to talk about this big week ahead of us and what could possibly happen. Now, if you see, there's a lot of congruence on the two charts. Both of them look pretty similar. Now, QQQ runs a lot smoother because it's more tech stocks in there and some financial stocks. But financial stocks are technology stocks because you need the best tech in the world to run the banks. So they run smoother, but we got oil, we got everything is in the S&P 500. But at the same time, they got the same setup. We got a bearish engulfing here, though. We got what is this? A 2-2. It's a 2-2 continuation, but it's also a bearish engulfing. So this bearish candle ate this bullish candle here, but I'm not looking at that as too much stuff because at the end of the day, we got the non-EMA right here, and let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens with this because we got a doji on the weekly, but price could possibly move down here to this non-EMA, but we can also get a relief bounce because the stocks kind of sold off pretty much a lot on Friday, but we also got to pay attention to what really happened last week. Do y'all understand what really happened last week? We got I don't care what no one says. Now, the jobless claims, not the jobless claims, but non-farm payrolls came in way hotter than expected, over 125K hotter than the consensus. Yeah, we did have unemployment rise to 3.9%, and they were expecting a 3.7% increase. And the unemployment rate increase is good for the Fed because, you know, unemployment rising shows that that slows down spending, which brings down inflation. That's what the Fed wants. But at the same time, they get 275 jobs, 275K jobs, and you were expecting 198K. Now, look, the reason the market ran also and initially is because they revised down last month's. They revised down last month's significantly. So we got to be very careful with that. I hate the fact that they be a mixed print, man, and they be revising down the data. So we had a high jobless, I'm sorry, non-farm payrolls last month, and they revised them down. And so I don't like that they can do that. So they can do that. So next month, let's say these came in hotter. Let's say if it benefits the market for it to be revised down, it'll be revised down next month. And again, that's just how I feel about the way the market works. But yeah, that's what happened. And the market did not really like that. Now, look, we got this is a quad witching week. We got a quad witching week this week, and the March quad witching is always a big one. We got CPI on Tuesday, we got retail sales data on Wednesday, and we got PPI on Thursday. Man, we got a lot of economic data that can push this market. And this is a Fed breakout. This is a Fed blackout week. So we ain't got no Fed speakers this week because we got FOMC next week. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. We just had FOMC, right? And we got FOMC, and this is the March meeting that everybody was expecting for us to get rate cuts that we're not going to get. We're not getting rate cuts in March. That's my opinion. But anyhow, so the market is moving in this
seemed kind of clear on that.
he was
he of course he never gives you like the exact thing, but the vibe is maybe towards the end of the year, but definitely not March.
Yeah, not March. We ain't getting no rate cuts in March, so we're not getting that. So you can just keep on. If you want rate cuts, you know, but we know, hey, look, man, if you want rate cuts, I feel sorry for you. I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a put ain't one. A put ain't one, man. I'm ready for everything. But no, let's get on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Hey, Peter, I'm disappointed in you too, bro. I'm disappointed in you too, bro. Very disappointed in you.
Ask him why.
He's not
going to ask. He's not going to ask any questions.
No, I gotta ask why. Why are you disappointed in me, sir?
KK, you want to take that one?
Nope.
All right. You know, maybe it's not worth talking about right now.
I think J Rocket. It was definitely QQQ.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in y'all for the way y'all handle QQQ. Because every chart tells a story, and then y'all know how I move, man. It's so many things. Yeah, QQQ. I'm very disappointed about QQQ. I'm disappointed about AMD. I'm disappointed about a few things, man. A few things. Disappointed about a few things, but it's cool. We're gonna get better. Y'all gonna lock in. We're gonna get better. Let's move on to. We just talked about the economic data a little bit. We got CPI on Tuesday. Now, remember the last two prints were hotter than expected. Let's see what happens if we're able to tame this inflation. And we got Thursday. So retail sales data is actually on Thursday with PPI. This is an interesting thing because I hate when they do that because retail sales data can come in one thing, you know, like the consumer confidence can actually increase for retail sales data, and then PPI could be, but PPI is a little different because it's more like PCE data based on how they how it's is set up. But Was in QQQ, but played it bad. See, this is the thing. You don't get to tell me that you played QQQ bad because you never asked me any questions. And that's the problem that I have with my traders because I feel like I tell y'all, like, look, ask me questions. We had this conversation so many times. And I'm like, if you need to know what's going on, ask me questions so I can tell you what's going on. And if you're in a trade and you're not sure, you should be asking me questions about what to do because, like on Friday morning, first thing I said to everyone was chill, don't sell anything, let the market stabilize first, and let's see what happens. But I grabbed like we had the calls for Friday and we had the puts for Monday's expert. Did that for a reason. Whenever we do that, it's for a reason. And y'all got to start asking more questions, even if you can't see what's going on. I'm not expecting you to understand everything that's happening in the market. I'm not expecting you to understand or understand every assignment, but what I am expecting is for you to ask questions if you don't understand, like because like there was a time when I worked for T Row and again I'm gonna tell this story quickly, but I was I, I wasn't even there that long before I got down to the trade desk floor. And the reason being was because there we had this guy now, we had a guy there. John was there for several years. He had 2 master's degrees. He wasn't working on the trade desk floor. My man Muhammad, that's my guy, he was there for a little while, graduated from Bowie State, whatever. He wasn't on the trade desk floor. The reason I was on the trade desk floor was because we had a VP. We had a monster. Our VP was a monster. He was a monster boss. And but the issue was like I understood him because just because something doesn't go the way you want it to go, don't not let him know. Let him know. He may handle different things different ways. He's a VP for a reason. People won't tell him because of their ego. Like I'm gonna try to get this handled on my own, and then I'll tell him afterwards. But it's like you may have messed up a relationship with certain people by handling it a certain way. You may have messed up a certain account handling it a certain way, and it may be a certain way he need to handle it. So whether something was going my way or not, I'm telling him. I don't care if he's upset about it. I'm letting him know what's going on. So he trusted me. He knew that good or bad, whether it was in my favor or not, I was going to tell him what was going on. So I was one of the people that he put down there that he can trust. Because on the trade desk floor, you're not putting nobody down there you can't trust. You know what I'm saying? Like we got people down there that's handling $3 million trades that got to be executed in the next 60 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just have people down there half stepping. So same thing with this is like if I trust you, if I trust you, I'm looking for you to, I'm trusting you not because you're making money, not because you can talk about price action or relative volume or whatever the hell it is. I'm trusting you because I know that if something goes wrong and you need help, you're going to reach out to me. I know that you're not going to hide that you're in a trade that you're in for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? I know that you're going to be straight up with me and be honest because your ego isn't going to supersede your ability to learn and be a sponge and to be a student because that's how I am as a person. So yeah, so QQQ, man, the team should have made a lot of money on that trade. And I purposely did not get on Zoom on Friday because I wanted to lock in the chat with everyone and talk that price action. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we should have had more people participating. That's why I said earlier this afternoon, I'm like, listen, we can record the study group. We can record the weekly options forecast all we want. But what's the point of recording it if you can't ask questions? This is an opportunity for you to ask questions, get clarification. This is our practice. We got a real game tomorrow. So that's not time to ask questions about what happened during practice. I need you to be ready to be put in the game. You're not ready for you to get put in. I'm not. So that's how we got to carry this, man. We got to start moving like we really here to really make this money. We got to start moving like we really like this is what we're really about because there's no reason why this team is up. Like I can honestly say this. We made over 10 bands for the month of February. And if we exclude the earnings plays, we made like 5,100, in profits so we up over 10 bands for the year without any earnings plays. If the team isn't that profitable, if the team isn't up substantially, look, KK made like $1,500 last week and she was only in 3 trades. So Go ahead, talk, KK, say
No,
something.
I'm just saying that's easy. I mean, definitely the 10 bands is nothing right now. Like if and I one thing that I do and I tell and I watch everybody when you take these chances and be grabbing these 2, 3, 4 contracts trying to okay, because I could just do this and I could do that. And I'm sure it can work sometimes, but when you putting up more, you risking more, and then if something doesn't go right, people be scared to then say something because they like, oh, I know I shouldn't have did that, and then you losing more money, and then you're just not in a profitable state. If somebody tells me in a year that we made over $40,000, and only if you would have just grabbed one option, then I'm not really feeling like I need to go and get a lot. I'm feeling like I can stick with this one option and consistently be profitable. That's
But
what
when
I
you
want to stick
miss,
to.
but when you missed the last trade and you saw it run like a bat out of hell, you feel like you're gonna make up, and now I'm gonna go for broke on this
Right,
next trade, and then you get clapped like an
right.
IG model. When I think is, I'm like this: you should grab one contract because you should only trade as far as you can see. You should only trade as far as your comfortability level. Like I said, me personally, there's certain trades where I'm like, I'm not grabbing 10 contracts because I'm not comfortable. My armpits start to sweat. You know what I mean? And when I'm in a trade where I'm in over my head, I'm like, nope, I can't think straight like that. I know these things about myself, and I'm a successful trader. I know a lot of people, they aren't even successful traders, and they putting themselves on these pedestals where it's just these unrealistic expectations of themselves. Like, I don't care who you are in any other life. We got doctors, lawyers, um managers, all types of people, scientists in this group that are respected in their respective areas of expertise. But this is options. It doesn't matter who you are in your other field. This is what we're doing here now, and I want to see more people posting wins. I want to see more people successful. Because, like I said, the penny pension and stuff they're doing, what people doing right now, where not posting their contracts for whatever reasons. If you were locking into my trades like you were supposed to, you would not be worried about those little basement things that you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? You would not be carrying it that way. And I
Be
just need to
hiding from
see.
that tip jaw. They be hiding from that tip jaw. And like I said in the group, I tipped $300 and I made 5 times that amount. So that money don't mean nothing at the end of the day. Try and hold on to it.
Look, it is what it is. This is how I feel. Look, like I said, this is how we do it. So, like, for people that don't know who just watching this on YouTube, the top subscription that I have for this community, or that we have for this community, is $175 for the premium plus. So what I said to myself, I said, I'm gonna do it like this. I already know there's no way. I don't know the last time we've done anything like this, but I mean, outside of this, but the benchmark at least is 1,000% on ROI on that 175. So $1,750. After that $1,750, everything else is a bonus. Last month we cleared 5,100 without earnings plays. And like, I'm not really seeing the team really being locked in. But like I said, I feel the reason being is because they're doing their own things. They're trying to outsmart me. I know I can get on Zoom, or I mean, I'm from South Baltimore, so I'm gonna carry myself a certain way. I know how to move in all types of rooms, but this is my room. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna move the way I want to move. If you don't respect it, your biggest vulnerability is doubting me. You know what I'm saying? So don't try to outmaneuver me, because I'm working with you. I'm being transparent. I'm sharing everything that I'm doing with you. I'm sharing everything that I know with you. So we're not in competition, because if we were in competition, I wouldn't be sharing anything that I'm doing with you. I would just be giving you trades, sharing everything. So let's but at the same time, I want to see the team more successful. Peter, I want to see you in more trades. I want to see you taking the profit. Like, I know, like, for example, Roman, he was in a meta trade last week. He told us he had a 500 call on Tuesday of last week. Meta ran like a bat out of hell. He didn't post that contract on Friday. I told you, I know he swung it over the weekend. And then Meta pulled back on Monday. If he had talked to me about what was going to happen with that price, because I don't care if he held the contract. You don't got to always listen to what I'm saying, but if things start to fall apart, talk to me, please. I'm gonna help you make the money. I still want to see you win, whether you listen to me or not. He didn't post that contract because he got clapped like an IG model, and then Meta ran like a bat out of hell all the way up to 523. And we didn't see that contract. We never saw it because everybody's trying to move the way they want to move. A few earnings ago, we played Tesla earnings. It was a few traders that I told to get out of them Tesla earnings plays, like right here, sell them in strength. They held those trades to prove a point. And it worked out for them times, but it's a lot of successful trades that we had since then, and I ain't seen them in because they didn't sell when I said to sell, and I know they got clapped. So, like I said, you may have a one off or every now and then a two off or whatever. Like AMD, for example, I sold at 223. I told y'all when I was selling, I said, but it's going to 225. It went to 227. I sold at 223. I was satisfied with that profit. We were up several 100%, and I was okay with that. You got to sell in strength. You got to stick to your plan, and you cannot have that FOMO and that greed that you have. This is like you want to make your next move your best move, and you out here trying to be greedy every single time. It's not going to work out for you. And when those pullbacks happen, they hurt badly. Look at what happened to Nvidia last week. You know what I'm saying? Look what happened to Nvidia last week. And
look at the tweezer top on Friday. Look at what happened on Friday. Everything was running and drastically turned around. And I know a lot of people got clapped.
Look at this. It gapped up on Friday. Hold on. What are you saying, Peter?
No, so it's funny you mentioned NVIDIA. One of my friends sent me a text message about it on Friday. She's like, I just bought into NVIDIA. And I'm like, at what price? She's like, $950. I'm like, why would you do that? I'm like, you just got trapped.
Well, you know, Peter, I don't want to hear what you got to say because you don't be in none of the moves that you're supposed to be in, bro. And what's up, J-Rock? I see you got something to say.
No, I feel like you hit it on the money. You know, I'm as transparent as it comes as far as like the trades I'm in and stuff. But I do think I lack in asking any questions when I'm needing to, especially when I don't know what's going on with the market. And I was going to get into that by saying I wanted to even ask a little bit about Meta because I just feel like I got out of QQQ because I had hit my stop loss because I'm trying to imply using my stop loss. So I know you talked about getting into stop loss with I think it was Kwame earlier this week, but never dropped a video on it. So I was wondering if you could kind of get into it right now.
His stop loss was at the wrong place, but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was wondering if you could get into the stop loss for what you got for Meta coming up this week.
I'm not sure like what you mean. So like my thing is this. All right. So look, all right. So this is the thing. I did just cover Meta a second ago. So about what I said with Meta, what part, and I'm asking this question for a reason because then we can talk about a stop loss. But I need to know what part of what I just said about Meta didn't you understand? Because then I'll know what I need to cover.
Now I got in here after Meta. I know I wasn't trying to get you to hop all the way back into it. I just was more or less trying to get where you had your eyes set on.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw you some softballs here to let you answer your own question.
I'm listening.
My bad. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna answer this question here because 1 second. Yeah, all right, cool. So I got the chart up. So yeah, so Meta broke out of this rising wedge or this potato wedge right here. And forget these levels, they are lower time frame levels and stuff like that. But we got back out of here and we retested the breakout area and it closed above the breakout area. We still got a 222 continuation right here on the price. So we're still holding the breakout area and I have a level here. So, you know, and again, forget these levels because this price, this chart is, I got a lot of stuff going on. Some of these stuff, some of them I shouldn't even have on this time frame because they're on the session hourly. But you know, so we got an area here. So as long as Meta is holding this area here, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with Meta holding this price area up in this range here. Now, it all depends on what's going on with price, to be honest, because like I said, if I got a structure that's holding, I don't want Meta to come back down under this rising wedge. I don't want price to break back down under the rising wedge. But like I said, as long as it holds this area up in here, I'm fine. So my thing is you want to give yourself some room because what market makers do is they go hunting for stops. They know where people got their stop losses at. So if you got your stop loss right at the level, they're gonna go hunt your stops. They're gonna hit that level and then clap you. I mean, get you, they're gonna stop you out of the trade and then it's gonna run. So it's not, so I feel like that's what I be saying. I be feel like y'all be overthinking this stuff, man, instead of just focusing on support and resistance. Because if you're really focusing on support and resistance, like I don't want to hear you say, I don't want to hear you or no one else talk about price action. I don't want to hear that word come out of none of y'all mouths. I want y'all to focus on support and resistance because that's a part of support and resistance. It's about the that trading checklist. I need all of that. That's what I need y'all to be focused on. Y'all be focused on a lot of the wrong stuff, and it's confusing y'all because y'all want to be able to say these things, and it's not really what needs to be worried about. I'm gonna clear this chart for a second because, matter of fact, I'm gonna bring up a different chart so I can make this a little easier to look at because this chart is little. It's got a lot going on this meta chart. But give me a second. So I ain't gonna elude your question because I didn't answer it. I just had to. I gotta give you my my speech because I'm a little frustrated. I'm very frustrated by, because y'all not asking me no questions when it really matters. And it's really it's costing y'all money and we're making a lot of money. I can see if I was in the trade and I mean not in the trade and I'm not saying anything and we're just going crazy. I'm telling y'all the levels that we're watching and everything, and then they're not even getting hit and y'all selling these trades because y'all not really asking questions to about what we're looking at. So, all right, let me just go back here. I'm gonna make this a little larger. All right, cool. This is not gonna work, is it? Watch, it's not gonna. All right, cool. It is working. All right, make it larger. There we go. All right. So if I got this area here, and I'm saying I'm watching this area here. We got a bounce. We did get a bounce and we did close up above this level. Now I can move this down. Keep in mind, we don't have that many touches up in this area because this is uncharted territory. Meta only been up here for a few days. This is a daily chart. So each day, each candle represents 1 day of price action here. We got a pullback, but we held that breakout area and also we held support. That's most importantly, we bounced and we held support. I got a lot of levels here, right? But again, they're more, you can see them better on lower time frames. But and I shouldn't even have them here. But at the same time, it's like, so I'm looking for I'm willing to let price come down here and play a little bit if the market is, but in sync with what the market is doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching what the market is doing. We look at this weekly chart here. Meta came and gave us a bounce. We closed higher than the previous week and we closed higher than the previous open. So we got a continuation here that's going on with higher volume on the weekly as well. Meta looks great. So, I mean, like I said, it's hard to really answer that question without letting price kind of do what it do and look for what I'm looking for in the next week, because like I said, I feel like we held support, and as long as we're holding support, I'm in the trade. As simple as that. So, like the whole, well, where I'm gonna sit this or where I'm gonna do that, like what's your risk management? What's your risk tolerance? I can't tell you. Like I said, if you can't swim deeper than 3 feet, you shouldn't be in 6 feet regardless. I don't care how great I can swim. You're not going to be comfortable out there. You're not going to be able to be of any service to me or anyone else. If I need help, you can't help me. And if the turbulence, not turbulence, but if the rip current get a little too strong, I can't even save you. I gotta save myself. So I need you to be able to pay attention to what's going on and not jump in every single trade, especially if every chart tells a story and you don't know what story the chart is telling. Every trade is not going to be for you. And that's the most important thing for me. I feel like I said, I like the way price finished on Friday. And I feel like we get a bounce here. Now, unless the market dies, unless the market dies, then that's a totally different scenario. But at the same time, we got to be able to follow the price and let the price action do what it needs to do, and let the chart tell the story it's going to tell. But again, I just feel like I like the way we finished on the weekly. Remember on Friday, if I'm swinging anything on Friday, I'm gonna look at the daily, but the weekly holds more weight for me now, because the week has ended and now this is basically giving me an idea of what could possibly happen next week. And that's what I'm looking at. And right now we got this continuation. Now it's a few stocks that have pulled back. Like I said, if we go back and look at a stock like Nvidia, now the chip stocks, I get it. I get it. They had a crazy, we had a crazy push on them. But we still got bullishness going on in this market. Like I said, we got a lot of economic data coming up that's going to dictate price action. It's going to have a lot to do with what's going on. I showed y'all the sector performance, and communication services was red Friday, but barely. It was barely. So let's just pay, and I love the flow. I love the flow on it as well. And so let's just keep an eye on it. But remember, just you gotta, every time you sometimes you just gotta wait and see what happens. And in real time, when some of these things are happening, that's when I want to kind of see what's going on. I'm bullish on Meta right now. So unless I see otherwise, I'm bullish on what's going on right now with Meta's price action. And yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but but when you said like where to put the stop loss, like I said, at the end of the day, it comes to risk management, because I'm gonna let a Meta play go down 30%. I'm gonna let so 30% to some people, I don't know how many contracts people be grabbing. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if people following the options trading Bible. I really don't know what's going on. So, if I grab 10 contracts, I may only be able to withstand 10%. But I'm like, my average when I'm trading SPY or Meta, I'm allowing 30% leeway on those trades, because you gotta account for the volatility, and as long as the structure is intact, I'm okay with that. So that's what I'm saying. Every chart tells a story. Every trade is different. So it all depends on what's going on, but everyone should have their own risk management. So like I said, sometimes there will be a trade where like I said, if somebody come up to you and say, look, I got this investment that I want you to a possible investment that we can partner on. You put up $1,000 and I'll give you 1,200 back. So meaning, like, if you give me 1,000, I'm gonna give you a $200 profit. I'm like, oh hell no. The risk to reward ratio is not something that I'm willing to trade. I'm not willing to do that. So some people be like, okay, well, you put up 1,000, I'm gonna give you 50, I'm gonna give you 500 back as a profit. I'm like, well, nah, I don't want 50%. I want at least 100% return on this trade, because I know what I average. Some people may say, well, okay, well, they may be cool with that. I feel like if it should be your risk to reward. I mean, it should be 2 to 1. It should be 2 to 1. And I feel like you should not be putting up a bunch of money if you're not going to make a 100% profit, or you're looking for 100% profit. These are the type of trades that I like to trade, but I'm willing to withstand some volatility and some drawdown on those trades. So it all depends on the setup and what's going on. Like I said, we only had 2 days up in this new range here. So we gotta see how everything sets up on this trade. But I need you to understand that, like I said, when we talk about this a lot, if I'm looking for you to, if I want to fade, and no matter how much I'm telling you, no, I need this blended to perfection. If you can't see the line in my head, you can't take it out. No matter what I say to you, I'm telling you, this is not blended to perfection. But if you don't see that line, you can't take it out. So I need to focus. I need everyone to really focus on seeing that line. Because if you don't see the line, it's never going to make sense to you. That's what we got to focus on. And what that means is drawing back and get over yourself, and actually taking the time to really understand, like, I'm not ready to move on yet. I don't know what's going on now. I'm going to stay here until I'm ready to move on. I'm not ready to move on yet. I'm going to ask as many questions as I can in real time. I'm not going to get out of these trades, because, again, J-Rock, you and Peter, both of y'all said, okay, well, you know what? Well, Peter, okay, coach, you're right. But it happens over and over again. And I want y'all, two of my traders that I know for sure got the potential to be amazing. You know what I'm saying? But I just need y'all to trust the process and ask questions. Like, I love questions. The more questions you ask, the longer you keep me around. I'm not trying to duck any smoke. I want all of the questions, because I know what I'm actually doing. So if something not going right, let me ask me some questions so I can help you out. and help you make that money, because there's no reason why this team is up as many thousands as we are on the year and everybody's not up. You know what I'm saying? So all it takes is a simple question, and that'll kind of get you from where you are to where you need to be. What's up, KK?
No, I was just agreeing because I've been there. I've been where I couldn't, where it was like being in the Matrix. And you know how you just see, it's just all the green digits and everything's just falling and you don't see anything until I saw something and it all came together for me. And now I see the buildings. It goes from that to the buildings. Like, okay, now I see it. Now I'm able to, now I can move differently because I understand what's going on. So,
right.
And it takes time. Everybody's time is different to get there, but you want to get there. You want to move past everything just being numbers and letters falling on the screen till you start seeing those buildings.
Exactly.
No, I definitely
You was gonna
appreciate
say
you touching
something?
on it because you did answer my question for sure. Because I already had an idea of my stop loss as far as like risk management, but I was more or less trying to get an insight on your strategy when it comes to it, because I know mine, and I feel like just understanding it from a broader perspective can help me out just in my learning process.
Yeah, no, because like I said, like you mentioned Kwame the other day. You know what I mean? He was like, "Oh yeah, my stop loss got hit." I'm like, "Hold up, where was your stop loss?" It didn't even make. And I'm no disrespect to Kwame, but we just did a one-on-one the other day, and I'm like, "So hold up, where was your stop loss?" Because I don't even see it. We didn't even get a retest of a VWAP, and this was an intraday trade. I'm like, I would have at least put my stop loss ahead of there. Like, where was it? It was no structure, no nothing. You can't just put a stop loss somewhere just. Now listen, but on the flip side, because that's my thought process, because every chart tells a story. But on the flip side, he could have said, and he didn't, but he could have said, you know what, my stop loss was set for 30% down. And I'm like, okay, then I would have respected that, because I'm like, okay, cool. He's looking at, but like I said, market structure over P&L. You're going to lose every single time looking at the P&L. When the market structure is intact, sometimes you may need to add more time. You may need to roll that position or something, but you got to trust your process. You got to be able to stand on something. You got to be able to stand on something, because the market will the market will trick you every single time. And that's not what we want to happen. So, yeah.
No, for sure, and I think I'm in that process of trying to get that confidence within the just simply support and resistance, even so that I can trust the chart doing what the chart needs to do rather than what I want it to do.
You just need to ask questions, bro.
No, for sure, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. I hear you, but I don't trust you. I don't trust you. So I can't put you on the front line and be like, you know what? I'm taking off today. I'm gonna put J Rock and Peter on the front line. I can't do it, because if something go wrong, I can't trust that y'all gonna hit me and tell me what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And then the whole trade falls apart. I need to be able to know that I can trust you. Like, KD, he don't get into everything. But one thing KD gonna do is KD like, look, man, I don't know about this. I don't like this. Are you sure you want to do this? He's going to speak but KD know how to read that price action. He know how to read them charts. He knows about that market structure. That's what I'm saying. So everybody's jumping ahead of that part. I don't care how long you got to stay on that level. Stay on that level as long as you need to and face that truth until you are ready to move on. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's really important. Stay in that how-to guide as long as you need to stay into that how-to guide to learn what you need to learn. Like, it's a lot of people who aren't subscribed to the premium side, but they have access to everything on the other side, which is fine. And I feel like they can use the information in the how-to guide to make a substantial amount of money. They can attend these meetings. They could ask questions. They got access to a whole lot of stuff. They got access to the novice lounge. They got access to the trading bots. They got access to a lot of stuff that they can still use to help make informed decisions and make some money in this options trading game. But everybody's not utilizing these resources and not respecting the fact that, like, listen, this is your money at the end of the day. Forget an ego. This is your money. And you got people here like there are a lot of people who want to avoid questions because, you start asking a whole lot of questions. You start exposing vulnerabilities in people and stuff like that. Look, I welcome every question. I want to answer all the questions. Any questions you have, I want to answer them. I want to help you. So let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? So if until I know that you're asking questions and you're okay with it, like J Rock, like I seen a few of the charts you sent me. I'm not opening no DM with no chart. I need to see that in the chat. I'm not opening no DM with no chart. That's not personal. That's something that if you post in the chart or you're reviewing the chart and you want me to look at it, post it in the chat and tag me in it. Because that's an ego thing. I'm not answering no DM with no chart. That's not personal. That's not about your money. That's not about anything personal. That's a chart. You're not gonna be comfortable ever until you start posting them charts. You know what I'm saying? So post them charts in the chat and get my feedback. I'm not opening a DM about no chart because you're not expected to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect you to be perfect. This is how we grow. Let's go ahead and let's be vulnerable. Let's get this money together. Like I said, we got a big week coming up this week, and I want the team to make money. We got consumer sentiment on Friday. We got retail sales data. We got PPI and retail sales data on the same day. CPI on Tuesday, and this is a quad witching week. And like I said, the March quad witching is crazy. So let's see where they pin the price. But I need my team locked in. I need my team to make this money, or I'm not satisfied with how the team played last week. So if you want me, I'm gonna tell y'all, look, I can take off 2 weeks. I can take off this next week, and we can still clear the threshold that I want to clear for this month and more. So I'm not in a rush to call out any trades. We burnt up Friday. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, we burnt this week up. We burnt this week up. So if you want to include the earnings plays, they still trades. And but if you're really locked in and you're really serious about this, I need more engagement from the team. I need more questions from y'all because like I said, if I don't get questions, I'm assuming y'all don't need me. I'm around here doing home improvements and more stuff. So I don't need the trade. And look, hold up. Matter of fact, hold up. This is the biggest caveat for everybody that watched this. I don't care if you saw anything else or heard anything else. This is the biggest caveat for this upcoming week. On Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it's going to be 71 degrees, and I'm going to be outside on the tennis courts, on the outdoor courts. So y'all better be engaged this week. I'm going to tell y'all straight up. So look, we got upcoming trades. It's going to be obviously most of the trades we get this week going to be swing trades because that we're going to sell the next day. Y'all got to be locked in because like if this team ain't locked in, I'm looking for reasons to be on that tennis court all day long. Look, I already fired my job 3 years ago. We make so much money. I don't need to trade. We don't need to trade every day. And if my team following me, they don't need to trade either every day. So if y'all want to look, we got to tighten up, team. Let's make this a profitable, a great week. But I'm gonna be on Zoom on the days I need to be on Zoom. But I'm gonna be getting off at 10:30 and heading right to the tennis court. So if y'all need me, I'm gonna need y'all to be locked in. Let's not play these games. Take that profit and ask questions if you don't know what's going on. Come on, let's go. Let's get it and let's make this money. Any questions?
I don't have any.
CPI, the first economic event that happens this week, right? Like nothing coming Monday or before CPI Tuesday.
Yeah. So Tuesday is CPI. Yep, that's all we got. We don't got no. It's a blackout week, so we ain't got no Fed speakers, and so yeah, it's just like as per this list right here. I'm gonna show it to you again, right here. As per this list, we got CPI on Tuesday, we got PPI on Thursday, we got retail sales data on Thursday, jobless claims Thursday, we got NY Fed manufacturing index on Friday, industrial production on Friday, and consumer sentiment. What I'm worried about most importantly, consumer sentiment is going to be at 10 a.m. So that's fine. But I'm more worried about this retail sales and PPI. So look, so the fact that retail sales and PPI are on the same day, that can be a mixed print, right? A mixed situation. But CPI might bang this time. CPI might bang this time. So let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens again, because everybody gets really panicky and really fidgety around a FOMC. We got FOMC next week. So let's just yeah. So it's like, yeah, so that's all we got so far. You know, tomorrow is indecision Monday. Let's see what the market does. I'm not watching the futures right now. KK, what the futures doing right now?
1 second.
Yeah, so it's a lot going on in the
You got
market.
any expectation on how CPI is going to affect tech coming up?
I don't know. I gotta wait and see. Like I said, it's just all about the data. I can't even call that right now. I don't know. I'm going like based off what happened last month. I mean, like for me to answer that question would just be me just an uneducated guess. I have to really see what actually happens and judge it accordingly, you know? Let's just see how it plays out. Because again,
Nothing's
it's
really
hard to
doing
say.
anything. SPY and QQQ is kind of still in the same range. QQQ only down like 12 cents, SPY up like 9 cents. So
Okay, so let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. All right, cool. But yes, again, it's hard to, like I said, I remember what I always say, man. Just think about the why. Because at the end of the day, we can say, oh, yeah, I think CPI going to do this, but why? What's the, like I just said, like CPI has been trending up. We got a pivot back in December, and it's been getting hotter and hotter for the last few months, you know. So we just got to see what happens. And it doesn't, and honestly, it doesn't really matter right now. I need to see how price set up on Monday before the close. That's all I really care about, because that's going to determine my real big move on CPI. Because I mean, I can't really right now. I can't even call what you know. I don't know what I'm doing for CPI until I see how the market's setting up on Monday after heading into the close. What story that chart is telling. It's too early for me to make any type of indication or any type of prediction on anything. That would be uneducated, and it would be premature. You know, I really need a chart. I need to see what the market is going to do, see what smart money is doing, and what the story is telling. You know what I mean? Then we'll get all of the bank uh analysis and everything tomorrow. But let's just wait and see what happens. But right now, like I said, that's cool. That's cool. It don't matter. I'm strangling regardless. If I get a setup. If I get a setup, the proper setup, I'm strangling it regardless, because it's going to be a vertical spread. You're going to get a dynamic move. You're going to get a big move in one direction or the other. That's the whole point of, that's the whole setup. And so we'll see um, pretty much what happens heading into that particular print. And that's the 12th. So, but it all depends. Because like I said, let's say they pricing in a $5 move right now for CPI. But if the stock move, or if the ETF moves up $3 or down a certain level, then now a different setup is in play. So it all depends. So that's why I'm trying to get y'all to really understand. Like when I say every chart tells a story, I'm not just saying it. It really tells a story, and we really got to see how it's setting up heading into the print. Because I can tell you anything. Price held this area right here. Let's see if it bounces on QQQ. If it does, then we got action. If it doesn't, then we got another problem. we got 435 in play. If it starts to come down, we lost this 9 EMA, but okay, but it doesn't 9 EMA doesn't matter. It hasn't been holding the 9 EMA this whole time. It's been choppy around this area. So that hasn't been something that we can say it's been holding. Now Meta's been holding the 9 EMA. That's a different situation. But QQQ hasn't been holding. It's been up and down, but it's been playing in this range. So right now it's holding this structure and it's holding this level. Let's see if it loses it, and let's go from there. But yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you so much for the late night session. You know I love it.
Much
All right.
appreciated as always.
All right. Well, thank y'all for hopping on. I know everybody else, they somewhere scouring in the background, watching the video, stuff like that, So, but it's cool. I'm glad we recorded it. And maybe I'll get some questions on YouTube about if anybody has any questions. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good
All
night.
right.
All right, good
Peace.
night.
Have a good
Yeah.
night. See you tomorrow.
All right. Peace.
Peace.